Well, here we are at the Lime Rock Historic Car Show. A lot of great cars here. We're actually right on the track, which is a great way to show cars. Here with my buddy and his son. We just walked in and look at this. I'm going to show you around the Sunday in the Park, which is a concours and gathering of marques, which is a part of Lime Rock's historic festival, which is a several-day event that includes racing. But on this Sunday, we are going to take a look at the concours and gathering of cars that are actually on the track here for display and judging. And I'm going to take you for a lap around the track. So sit back and relax and let's go for a walk. One of the things that's cool about this event is my buddy and I, we were able to park right on the track. We were part of a group called Caffeine and Carburetors, and apparently various groups and associations were able to park right on the track alongside of the entrance. So these great looking Ferraris here are just a part of a group of Ferrari owners. And if a car is to be judged, there'll be a white sheet of paper with the car's information under the windshield wiper. But many of the cars weren't here to be judged. They're just owned by people like you and me who just love cars.
They have McLaren, and so when you go there, even just to drop off your car, you spend time how you would love it. You would love all these.
Look at this beautiful Ferrari F12. What was neat about this show was that you had a mixture of modern cars as well as very much vintage and historic cars. So if you like both kinds of cars, old and new, you had it here for you. But this was a beautiful example of a modern Ferrari. Fantastic. You guys probably already know a lot about this F12. It's got a 6.3 liter V12 engine pumping out 731 horsepower and 508 pound-feet of torque. It's the ultimate grand touring car. What a beast. I've always liked these Ferrari 308 GTSs. They really stand the test of time. That just shows how well Pininfarina, how well they design a car. It's beautiful, beautiful lines. They stand up even to today, I think. I like this Ferrari 360 Spider as well, beautiful. And this 250 GTE Ferrari caught my attention. I guess this is from the 60s, I believe. Yeah, so it was built between 1959 to the early 60s. And it's a 2+2. You can seat 4 people. It has a V12 engine, which produced about 240 to 280 horsepower. Some reports say that the styling of this car was controversial. I don't find it that controversial to me. It looks really nice, really classic looking coupe. Although it is a 2+2, the rear seating area looks really small, so probably no more than luggage or children can fit back there. But what a nice example of a classic Ferrari. So we go from the classic 60s era Pininfarina design to this, the Ferrari 458 from the late 2000s. I can't say that this is a beautiful car, but it certainly is handsome and aggressive and purposeful. Not designed by Pininfarina, in-house design. It's all about performance, this car. It is so impressive to look at and behold as well. I'm sure you guys know all about the 458. It has 562 horsepower, about 398 pound-feet of torque, naturally aspirated engine. And this 458 has since been replaced, I think this year, by the 488, which has even more horsepower and torque, but a turbo. So this is a valuable car right now for those who still want a naturally aspirated Ferrari with that incredible engine sound. Oh, and I had to give this 360 Spider a second look. This is a design from the 90s, of course. And again, I do think it holds up pretty well to today. That glass over the engine is pretty cool. Being able to see that is awesome. So yeah, and also I like this color. This lighter gray color is unusual for a Ferrari. Stumbled upon this Mercedes-Benz 500e from the 90s. It was built in conjunction with Porsche. Very impressive. Also, this Mercedes SL 1965 230 SL. The design of that hard-top roof was nicknamed the Pagoda. Very distinctive design. There were a group of Cobra cars there. They look pretty impressive to me, even though they are not originals. They are replicas. But they make them very convincing nowadays. A nice Porsche Boxster Spider. This is a pretty rare sight. You don't see very many of these around. The GT4 gets all the press, but this Boxster Spider is built like the GT4. 375 horsepower, 3.8 liter engine from the 911. It's a driver's car. White GT3 here. Wouldn't be a car show without some Porsches, right? Nice GT4. Highly sought after car. Manual transmission. It has 10 more horsepower than the Spider, 385 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. And I think the suspension is a little stiffer than what the Spider has. It's built for those who love to drive. And of course another GT3 again in agate gray. Really nicely set up. The agate gray color theme continues with this Porsche Turbo S on the right. I was told by my buddy you can tell it's a Turbo S because of the center lock wheels on that example. But again, I love this color. The Porsche Turbo S is a real beast. It's got like 580 horsepower. It can go from 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. This is a real fast car, and it can take on a lot of super hypercars in the process. So you gotta give it some respect. And look at this, we have a 430 Scuderia Spider 16M, which was to celebrate its 16th championship in F1, I believe, back in 2009. So this has a lot of go-fast parts. It's got a 500 horsepower V8 and carbon ceramic brakes, and it's all lightweight. Pretty amazing piece of kit here. Yes, the Lamborghini Countach. I remember having a poster of this up on my bedroom wall as a kid. It's a classic. It's like the first supercar of the modern era as far as I'm concerned. It's got all the hood scoops and slats and the wing, and yeah, it's got the look, if you will. It was cool to see it. But I hear it's a terrible thing to drive though. Right next to the flashy Countach is this very purposeful Carrera RS, which is a lightweight version of the 911. This one I believe is from the early 70s, but it's made to be a pure driver's car. Very purposeful. What a contrast between this and the Countach, right? Right next to that purposeful RS was this 1953 Jaguar race car, which I believe the judges were surprised that it was parked here. There's another part of the Concours where I think race cars are supposed to be. But anyway, race cars of this era are just beautiful to look at. Look at these stunning curves, just works of art. And yet they were race cars. What an example. Speaking of a car with purpose, look at this BMW 2002 with a full roll cage, what appears to be a racing setup, bucket seats, the whole nine. I bet you this thing is a blast to drive on a track like Lime Rock. I came across this BMW. I have no idea what this model is, to be totally honest with you, but it just caught my attention. A very interesting coupe here. If you guys know what it is, leave a comment in the comment section below. Very interesting car. And of course, the original M3. Still looking good after all these years. And from what I can tell and what I've heard, it's still a fun car to drive, even though it's only a 4-cylinder. But it is a blast, that's what I'm told. And the new kid on the block, the M2, brand new. This is the first one I've actually seen in the flesh. It was good to see it. It wasn't that much bigger than the original M3. The owner said it's a great drive. He said the short wheelbase really makes a difference. He's got some other M cars in his collection, and the short wheelbase makes this one very flickable, fun. Check out all of these 2002s. Talk about the original sports sedan, or at least that's what I think. The Viper ACR with 645 horsepower from a 8.4 liter V10 engine. Talk about a track star, a beast. Not many hypercars, I'm sure, can hang with that. I'm sure you may have seen some other YouTube channels that show this thing perform on track, and it is a real beast. Too bad it's going out of production. Rest in peace, Viper. Great looking Corvette Z06, 650 horsepower, and I love that gray color. I have mad respect for this car. What a performer. Look what we just found, just parked in the lot with all the other cars. This great Ferrari Dino. I like these Dinos. Beautiful lines. I guess the Dino never got the prestige factor of a Ferrari nameplate car, but I find these to be some of the most beautiful looking cars on the road ever designed. And this is my first time seeing the Mercedes-Benz version of the 911, if you will, the AMG GTS. This is my first time seeing it actually in the flesh. So it looks pretty good. Nice looking car. The S version has a 503 horsepower engine. It can do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. So this GTS can really perform. It may not have the finesse of a 911, but it certainly has the speed. And we're coming up on a Lamborghini Huracan, but this is the two-wheel drive version. Normally they're four-wheel drive, but you can tell this is a two-wheel drive by the front fascia down below where the air dam is. It's a little less aggressive, not as pointy down there in the front. That's how you can tell. But still over 500 horsepower, I believe, all going back to the rear wheels. Should be a pretty fun and exciting ride. Here is a McLaren 650S with 641 horsepower. This thing I'm sure is a beast. Front end has that new modern design for McLarens, but the back end here still looks like, reminds me of the old MP12C, whatever it used to be called. Still a nice looking car though. Classic late 60s era Camaro SS. What a beast. Engine V8 sounds fantastic. The Lamborghini Miura. I think this is probably the actual true first supercar. I guess it created the trend for a two-seat high-performance sports car that was beautiful to look at, and it had some performance to back it up. So wow, it's great to see this in the flesh. If I remember correctly, the first production version came out in 1966. So can you imagine this design on the road in 1966? I'm not sure what year this particular model is that we're looking at, but boy, what a groundbreaking design.
If he was in need of the money, he probably would have gone away.
Hi, how are you?
Look at this late 80s era Carrera, 911 Carrera. I'm not sure exact year, I'm sure you guys could tell me, but I always loved the shapes and curves of this body style. Classic 911. Looks fantastic. This one looks like it has aftermarket stuff on it. It's got rough wheels on it, so who knows what else has been changed on this, but what a beautiful example, especially in black. Fantastic. Look at this BMW Z8. Really nice clean lines to the body style. I like that. I think these are becoming real collector's cars now. They look good, particularly with the top down. With the top up, the canvas top is so vertical, it doesn't quite go with the nice smooth lines of the bodies, in my opinion. And boy, those wheels are huge, but I believe those are stock wheels on that. Really nice. My buddy Aston had to educate me on the significance of this Porsche. This is a 1996 993 GT2 rear-wheel drive twin turbo, making about 430 to 450 horsepower. Again, rear-wheel drive only. Get a load of this. A 1995 version of this car recently sold for $2.4 million, according to Road and Track magazine. This is a rare car. Only about 57 were made worldwide. I think I read somewhere that there may only be 5 of these in existence in the United States. What was this car about? Well, it's based on the 993 Turbo. In order for Porsche to qualify to race a Turbo 911, they had to meet certain criteria. So they had to make a street-going version of the car they wanted to race. And that's why this particular GT2 has all the big wide fender flares, because that body was going to be used for racing. In addition, this particular racing series did not allow four-wheel drive, so it had to be made into a two-wheel drive variant, which is why this particular GT2 is so rare and probably so desirable. It's no wonder my buddy Aston was so excited to see it. It's got a wooden frame, you know that, right?
What, the Morgan?
Yeah, wood.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, even modern Morgans, wood.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
I think it's got the BMW engine.
Is this called the Aero 8? What is this one called?
It's called the Aero Super Sport.
Aero Super Sport? If I could be wrong about that, Aston, but I thought even modern Morgans still have the traditional wooden frame.
You can see him holding
I'm a fan of modern Formula One racing, so I like open wheel racing. But boy, looking at these old race cars, they are so small with very little protection, or I guess really no protection for the driver. It's just like you're riding in this little steel tube. Amazing that these guys would take that kind of risk, knowing the kind of speeds that they were doing. Pretty brave souls driving these cars. I suppose a Concours wouldn't be complete without a big classic Rolls Royce, so here you go. Beautiful car.
Like my wife says, it has the most beautiful rear end.
Yes, it does. Fantastic. Now, what year is this one?
It's an 83.
83.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
These are
Well, that was one lap around Lime Rock, checking out all the beautiful cars like this one, this 599 Ferrari. Fantastic. If you stuck with the video this long, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed the day out there looking at all these beautiful cars. And I find car people are so friendly and nice. So it's great to hang out with just really nice people for a day. Anyway, please hit the like button and subscribe to see more videos. Till next time, later.